What's up, positive bitches? How are we doing today? If you're hearing this episode, you were meant to be here, so keep listening. On that Bitches Positive podcast, sometimes we will laugh. Other times, baby girl, we're gonna cry, but we will always walk away feeling our most empowered, positive bitch self. That is babe in true connection with herself. On this podcast, we unbecome who we are not so we can fully embody exactly who the fuck we are. Today, we are talking about the mystery of angel numbers. We are unveiling angel number sequences. If you've been scratching your head and you're wondering, I've been seeing 111 or 333 or 555, 999 over and over and over again, and I don't know what the fuck it means. And when I try to Google it, there's 7,000 different possible meanings. Look no further. You have found your peace in this podcast. I'm going to break down every single number sequence down to the single digit so you have a no BS go-to guide to understand, decipher, and read these angel numbers. The funny thing is we're so open to picking up a call or a text from our ex, but when it comes to these angel numbers, we shy away from communication. We're like, no, not going to pick up that call. We're going to change that today because maybe you haven't realized it yet, but when you see an angel number of 111, 222, 333, that is your angels essentially trying to text you, trying to get in communication with you. Today, we're going to learn how to tune up our communication, how to decipher and read angel sequences, these numbers that we keep seeing, and how to take advantage of them so we can put ourselves on our most magnetic timeline. This is your sign that it's time to free yourself to higher communication with your guides. And I'm going to give you the tools necessary to read these numbers so you never have to rely on a random image on Google again. You know how when you read your first book ever from front to back and you didn't need any help? You felt so empowered. That's what we're going to do today. By breaking down these sequences to the single digit, baby girl, you're going to be able to read any sequence that you see. Before we get into it, a couple of announcements. I was breaking out with dermatitis and hormonal acne, and I went to a homeopathic doctor. And one of the things I had to change was my consumption of caffeine. My problem in my life was that I was trying to do these crazy workouts, really burning myself out, and I needed the caffeine in order for me to accomplish all of those tasks. But I wasn't living in alignment with my true flow and my authentic energy. I was breaking out and I was feeling all of the effects on my body. I would have these extreme high highs and extreme low lows. Luckily for me, I came across Magic Mind and I tried this little magic in a bottle and it's changed my life. It has helped me clear up my skin. My homeopathic doctor has okayed it. There's no weird chemicals that I don't understand in it, and it's a completely clean drink for a boost of energy without having those really high highs and those really low lows. Forget about getting anxiety from these energy drinks and instead just be able to get the advantage of Magic Mind. The magic of Magic Mind to me really comes down to its ingredients. It has matcha that has way less caffeine than coffee, and it also has things like ashwagandha, which helps reduce stress and anxiety. Also, lion's mane mushrooms. And again, this also reduces stress and inflammation. So at the same time that this drink is giving you a boost of energy, it's also making sure that your body isn't going to spiral in any direction by giving you that stress-free and inflammation-free benefits. I love taking Magic Mind before a workout, before a podcast. It helps me focus and it also allows me to relax into my journey rather than have me anxiously spiraling through it. If you want to try the magic of Magic Mind, see for yourself the beautiful benefits that it can give to your life. You can go to www.magicmind.com/positive and get up to 50% off your subscription for the next 10 days with my code POSITIVE. Your code will be valid forever as a 20% off for both one-time purchases and subscriptions, but in the first 10 days, it's up to 50% off if applied to a subscription. Again, that's www.magicmind.com angelic.com/positive and get up to 50% off in your subscription for the next 10 days with my code positive. I will put this link in my description as well. If you are looking for daily guidance on becoming your most magnetic self, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Vibin with CC, VIBIN with CIICII. If you're going through a breakup, join the 21-day breakup glow up challenge. Girl, do yourself a fucking favor. I recently had a positive bitch tell me that on just day 2 of the challenge, which is all about releasing and understanding your emotions and seeing this as a new beginning rather than an ending, she actually got an offer to a dream promotion. So let's give her a round of applause for taking back her power and taking control over her life. It's an amazing transformation that you are able to give to yourself. So why not? I will be your built-in breakup BFF and guide you through the whole thing. If you're wanting to understand the subtle energy of dating, you can get the Calling Your Power Back workbook. And of course, if you want to balance and heal your divine feminine energy, you can get the Divine Feminine workbook as well. All the links will be in the bio. Without further ado, let's get into today's episode. To understand these angelic codes, we first have to understand a couple of other things. One of those things being quantum physics. According to quantum physics, every single thing on this planet is energy. They thought that what we perceive as matter was solid. But when they used newer instruments, they were able to find out that what they thought was physical and solid and matter was actually 99.99999999999% energy. When they looked at an atom under a microscope, they found out, whoa, we thought this thing was all solid, but it's 99% energy and 1% physical matter. That led them to the discovery of, wait a second, if the atom is the building blocks for every fucking thing on this planet, that means that everything is actually energy. Everything down to its smallest particle is actually vibrating particles. It's actually just energy. So the cup that you drink out of, it's energy. The pen that you use to write, it's energy. The phone that you don't use to text your ex back is energy. The tree you see outside your window is energy. Every fucking thing is energy. And that's something that quantum physics gifted us this knowledge. If every single thing on this planet is energy, that means that numbers are also energy. They also have their own energy. This brings me to my second point. Math is not something that us humans created. It's something that us humans discovered. There are mathematical sequences in nature, in numbers all around us in this universe that man is not smart enough to create. Sorry, ain't sorry. We discovered it. These sequences and these numbers are not something that come from us, but come through us. Math is a universal language, meaning that I can understand it in English and someone else can understand it in Spanish and another language and another language. We can all understand math regardless of our language barriers. But it doesn't stop there. Entities, energetic beings, other realms also understand math. Why? Because it didn't come from us. Language is man-made. Man-made right there. Numbers is God-made, universe-made, always been there. When we look at numbers is something that we can all communicate with, not only to one another. We all understand 2 + 2 = 4. And if anyone tries to fucking tell me now that 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4, I saw something about that. I'm like, I'm going to need you to sit down and just don't do that, okay? 2 + 2 = 4 for anyone who's wondering. Anyway, when we understand that numbers don't come from us but through us, we can also understand that these angelic beings in other realms also use numbers to communicate with us. Now, why would an angelic being use the number 1 versus the number 2 or the number 5? Each one of these numbers, because they're made up of energy, have their own little personality, just like we do too. The energy, the frequency of the number 1 is a very different energy and frequency than the number 5 or the number 9. So angels, why would they use numbers? It's because it's a language that they understand. It's a universal language. It doesn't come from us, but through us. That's number one. And number two, they understand the meanings of these different numbers. We, however, get a little bit lost in the sauce, and we have to work our mind around the energy of numbers. Just like you have a unique DNA and I have a unique DNA, we all have unique DNA. We also all have our own unique energy. It's the same thing with numbers. When we see a number, our angels using it because that's the language that they know. They know the language of vibration. They know the language of frequency. And because we also understand frequency and energy through numbers, that's one of the ways they can communicate with us. If our angels communicate with us and they show us a number sequence of 111, 222, whatever it may be, they're communicating a specific message. We might be getting the message of the number, but if we're not transcribing it correctly, if we're not deciphering it correctly, it can lead us to feel really confused and down and out about the whole entire situation. So what I did is I wrote out all the different numbers, and we're going to understand what each single digit number means so that when you see the number repeated 3 times in a sequence, you'll understand that the meaning of the single digit number when seen in a sequence is the same meaning, just amplified. So that means that the number 1 has a certain meaning. And when we see the number 111, it's the same meaning, just amplified. That's what our angels are doing. They're trying to amplify the meaning of a specific energy to try to get across a message. Now, communicating with your angels is a 2-way street. They'll communicate with you a number, but then you have to do a certain level of self-reflection to fully understand it. And that's what we're going to get into today. I have written out a little note of what each of these numbers mean from my own experience, from what numerology says, and we're going to go through each one. And I'm going to give you the tools to start communicating with your angels through numbers. You're going to understand what each single digit number means. Then you're going to understand what it means in a sequence, and even when there's other numbers involved. Don't worry. I know it can feel like a lot, but really all we're doing is understanding what these sequences mean. Let's start where everything starts, which is the number 1. By the way, it's 111 on the clock. Ha ha, hee hee, ha ha ha. That's funny. So the number 1. The number 1 is all about the self. What's interesting about the number 1 is it kind of looks like an I, like I am. The I in I am looks like a number 1. So anytime you see the number 1, this has something to do with you. It has something to do with creation, with beginning, with connection to self, with birthing a new project. When you see the number 1, it has to do with your internal world, okay? Internal world. When you see 111, that is a sign to you that something is going on with your connection to yourself, with your internal world that needs to be looked at. Most times what 111 means is a celebration of you've been working on your internal world. Things are shifting, and this is a congratulations. It could also be, though, a warning of, hey, you gotta work on your internal world. You gotta get clear about what it is you want to manifest. You need to more so focus on you. You're letting thought forms come in that are not helping you. So when you see 111, look at the number and say, okay, 1 is all about the self. When I see 111, it has to do with a really big signal of, hey, focus on you. Hey, what's going on with you? Now, have I been really focused? Have I been having a lot of positive momentum and movement towards positive experiences and outcomes in my life? Or have I been shit-talking myself every single day this week? You need to use your analytical mind to help you understand what the spiritual mind already knows. You need to get your analytical mind and your spiritual mind on the same page. You're picking up with your spiritual mind that there's a number sequence here of 111, but now your analytical mind needs to come in and say, have I been getting clear about what it is I want, or have I been watching horror movies and talking shit about myself and other people, and am I just all over the place? Every single angel number, whether it's 111 or 555, they either serve as a congratulations or a warning. I don't love the word warning because it feels so rash and negative, but it is a sort of, hey, reminder. Let's say reminder. It either serves as a congratulations or a reminder that you need to work on something more. Either way, it's a signal that you either need to go a little bit to your left or a little bit to your right. These numbers serve as congratulations and as course correctors. They're going to be there to give you some information on whatever it is you're going through, for guidance on whether you need to either really strap it down, get focused, get clear, or hey, congrats, we're on your side. We see the work that you're doing. Now, only you will truly know if you've been doing the work. I can't tell you that. You need to use your analytical mind and get fucking real with yourself about whether or not you're focusing on what you're focused on. You're cleaning up your vibration. You're cutting the people out who make you feel like shit. Only you truly know that. So with the number 111, this sequence, it's about getting clear about what it is you want to manifest. It's about your connection to self. Remember, 1 looks like an eye. Okay, I'm giving you the tools to read these sequences for yourself. 1 looks like an eye, and when we see it 3 times, 111, that is the angelic code. That is the sequence to tell you something's going on with your connection to self. More times than not, it's about you're going through a new beginning. You're going through a rebirth. You're going through some sort of creative process. Congrats, it's going to be new. This is exciting. Sometimes it will be, hey, reminder, check in with yourself. If 111 is all about our connection to self, 222 is all about our connection to others. 222 can be a signifier when you're either experiencing a soulmate partnership or best friend, just a soulmate connection. It could either be that this soulmate is coming into your life or you've just met them. It also has to do with polarities. With the number 2, what is a polar opposite? It's 2 polars, 2 sides. And sometimes we see 222 as a reminder that, okay, we're polarizing a little bit and we need to neutralize a little bit more. Are we all action and no meditation? Or are we all meditation and no action? Is there any way that I can balance these 2 polar opposites? So as 1 is connection to self, 2 is connection to others. Am I too focused on my relationship? Am I getting into codependency? Am I too focused on me? Do I not even care that my partner is trying to talk to me and is not getting any of their needs met? It's about your connection to something else. 222 will be seen when you're growing, when you're on the right track, when you're bringing these polarities into neutralization. And it'll also be seen when you need a reminder that you're falling into older patterns where you're not having that necessary balance. So 111, all about connection to self. 222 is about connection to others. It's about polarities. How balanced am I? Once we see the number, what's the next thing that we do? We ask ourselves, okay, am I on the right side of things here? Am I overly balanced? Am I not balanced at all? Am I just all over the fucking place? We have to use, again, our analytical mind to understand what this number, what our angels are trying to tell us. Right? Because our angels will text us. I'm using text as a metaphor. They'll show us the number, but then it's up to us to actually read the text, decipher the text. I know for a fucking fact that you will spend hours trying to decipher what your ex wrote to you in a text. We need to give a little bit more time to decipher the angel numbers that we're seeing. So again, review. 111 is all about your connection to yourself. 222 is about your connection to others. 333, I love the number 3. 333, baby, that is a holy trinity, okay? That is the past, present, and future. 333 is all about our purpose. It's about putting into alignment our self and our connection to others, And when we put this together, we get a creation of purpose. You'll see 333 when you're either walking into alignment, when you're in total alignment with your purpose. I see personally 333 as bringing your physical self and your spiritual self into union, and then your angels are right there with you, supporting you. Every time I do meditation consistently, and every time I reach out to my angels every single day consistently, I always see 3-3. So I see this really as a signifier of your angels are really close to you. You're being supported in weaving your physical and spiritual self together, and it's clarifying what your purpose is. I see this really as encouragement to keep going. You're on the cusp of something. Something is happening. You're moving in the right direction. It is purpose alignment here. Purpose with the number 3. It's balance as well. And like I said, every time I see 3-3 consistently, it's because I am really connecting to my spirit guides every single day. Next, 4. I heard someone say something really interesting about the number 4 to help you remember it. So the way I remember 3, by the way, is thinking of my physical self, my spiritual self, and when I weave that together, I get my purpose of being a human. 4, someone said, I heard in a video, that 4 is like the 4 walls of a home. And this signifies your stability. It signifies your foundation. It signifies, to me, for whatever reason, I can't explain this. It signifies to me the heart. I don't know why that is, but it is for me. When I think about stability and home, I think love, relationship too. So I see the number 4 as not only being this foundation, but a positive transition in your life to assist you going through specifically a breakup for some reason, whether it's a breakup with an old company or a breakup with a partner. I see the number 4 as bringing your heart into alignment with your true home and your true stability. So if you're seeing the number 444 all the time, ask yourself, okay, am I going through a breakup? Because maybe now that I'm seeing 4-4, it's actually pushing me towards stability, the relationship I've been asking for. I've gone through this breakup, and now I've made room for this relationship of my dreams to really come in. 4-4-4, you'll see when maybe you made a decision to start a side hustle, and now you're seeing 4-4-4, that side hustle is going to bring you enhanced stability. 4-4-4 is about creating not only an external home and stability there, but also internal. If you are tending to your internal needs and you're making your internal world a safe haven for you, you're also going to see 4-4-4. So when you're seeing this, you can ask yourself the question, what's going on in my home life? Do I feel like I'm stabilized? Do I feel like I have a good foundation or not? What can I do to create a good foundation? What can I do to make my relationship, if I want to continue the relationship, even stronger and build a foundation there? Maybe you can even ask yourself, which one of my loved ones needs a little extra from me today? Which one of them needs maybe an extra hug? So 4-4-4, whether it's about physical stability, like getting a home or an apartment or a promotion, it can also be about emotional stability, calling in and now aligning with emotional relationship that's actually going to make you much more stable rather than your ex who may be an emotional roller coaster. Then we have 5. 5-5-5 is all about change. It kind of brings what we perceive as the chaos, but really what it's doing is it's the storm to clear out all that is no longer serving you. So if I'm in the wrong relationship or just one that's in lower vibration and I'm trying to manifest a higher vibrational life, you're probably going to start to see 5-5-5 a ton because it's ushering in some change that might temporarily, you might perceive it as chaos, but ultimately it's going to clean slate you so that you can actually go and move towards what it is your heart truly wants. So when we see 5-5-5, you might be feeling a little unhinged, and hey, we all get there, but keep in mind the breakdown is the breakthrough. It's not a setback, but a set up. And you're never actually starting over. You're starting again with new information. 555 is encouragement to take the bull by the horns and to acknowledge, okay, I might feel somewhat unstable right now, but I'm going to keep going anyway because I know that the light at the end of the tunnel is in sight and I'm going to get there. 555, I always see as like, it reminds me of a Mercury retrograde for some reason, because every time there's a Mercury retrograde, everyone loses their shit. They're like, this is going to be the worst time ever. Everything's going to fall to shit. Chaos, chaos, chaos. It's like sometimes chaos is really good for you though. Like sometimes it's really good and necessary for you because in chaos comes new opportunity. Every time there's a Mercury retrograde, I might not be obsessed and in love with every circumstance that's unfolding, but I'm always obsessed with the results. Like I don't always love working out for an hour, but I'm always obsessed with the results. It's the same thing when I see 555. I might not be happy-go-lucky about the current circumstance, but I know that throughout this process, it's going to tune me up to get what it is I want. And it's sort of like that idea of you don't pray for something like courage and it just falls out of the sky. You pray for courage and you get a circumstance that's going to push you to be courageous because you have to develop those muscles on your own. That's what 555 reminds me of, this number of 5, this number of change, of perceived chaos. It's that encouragement that, hey, you've been asking for change. It might not be coming in the exact way you thought, but you can bet your ass you're going to change and you're going to change for the better. So you're fucking welcome. The number 6, now we're going back to balance here. Similar to 3, bringing your spiritual and physical self into balance. We have the number 6, which is almost like double balance. We perceive the number 6 as something that can help us adjust our awareness for balance. You might have heard someone say like, oh, a sixth sense. You want to use your quote unquote sixth sense to bring adjusted awareness, to bring greater perception, to ask yourself, am I where I need to be? Am I too focused on one area of my life rather than another? I don't know why, but for some reason, intuitively, the number 6 always reminds me of the hero's journey. And it's like after you've been through this chaotic moment, you then bring yourself back to this moment of peace. It's like we have this climax and then we go back to the resolution. And the number 6 always feels like, to me, that journey to resolution of I'm over the chaos. I want to bring more balance. And the number 6 will beg you to ask, what's consuming your focus right now? What's consuming your attention? What's consuming your life right now? And is that where your energy should be? It's almost like before you make this decision, I want you to double think. And that's what I see the number 6 as. It is this funny number that will ask you to reconsider before you make a decision. Before you get married, we need to make sure that you are able to balance yourself in this relationship and not just go straight to codependent. So when you see 666, I remember seeing a ton of 666. By the way, the number 6 has gotten such a bad rep that it's like this evil number. That's just mishmash, pattywash, whatever. People are going to try to assign meanings to certain things. If you happen to see the number 666, it's not something evil. It's just a number. It does have energy, but it's not this narrative of evil or, whatever people may say. It's just another number. And when you do see it, I remember I was seeing it when they kept saying that TikTok was going to be taken down. Now, maybe that's still going to happen. I don't know. But when I kept seeing 666, I kept remembering, okay, I keep giving all of my energy to worrying about whether or not TikTok is going to be taken down. I need to instead refocus on just creating good content and maybe starting a podcast in case it does. So again, 666 is that reminder of, hey, you're giving all of your energy maybe to this negative thing or this circumstance that isn't actually helping you. Refocus. 7 is such a sacred number. We see it with the 7 sacred sacraments. We see 7 a lot with the beginning story or the creation story. God created all of this in 7 days. But what it's trying to push you to pay attention towards is your spirituality in general, your spiritual awakening, and paying attention to your gifts. For whatever reason, I really feel like that's what it's wanting you to look at. You are born with innate gifts and innate strengths, and some strengths that you don't have when you're born, but that you are meant, part of your destiny, you're meant to create these strengths within yourself. And when I see 777, I almost see it as a return to home and a return to true essence and returning to my true energy. And it reminds me of my inner child, of what did I love to do when I was a child? Let me do some of that now. Let me tap back into that sacred energy, because to me, our most sacred part of ourself is our inner child, that innocence, that unknowingness, but just pure love and light. When we didn't understand that we could even be bullied, that wasn't a thing to us. We were just love and happiness and forgiveness. That's what I see number 7 is wanting us to return to. So if you feel like you keep seeing 777, maybe it's because you've been connecting a lot to your inner child and your guides are acknowledging that. Maybe it's that you're going through a dark night of the soul or a deeper part of your spiritual awakening. No one really tells you this, but you do not have one spiritual awakening. You go through many different phases. So that also might be telling you, pay attention to your gifts. What did you used to love when you were a child? What did you used to love to do? And how can you bring that back into your life now? This brings us to 888. 8 is all about the money, honey. It's basically doubling the number 4, and then you get 8, obviously. If you remember, 4 is the 4 walls. It's all about stability. 8 is stability, but specifically always with finances. A lot of positive karma. If you turn 8 on its side, it's obviously the infinity symbol, which I always think is really interesting, and I really like that. And when I see that, when you turn it on its side, it's the infinity number, it reminds me that, oh, if I did something great in my past life, that good karma might be returned to me now in this lifetime. Hence why positive karma, positive change, and now I'm going to get this financial, abundance to me. So it also reminds me, again, turning it on its side, the forever symbol, the infinity symbol, that what we do does have consequences to do good in the world, because you'll get good back. It reminds me that whether it's this life or in a past life, to send out positivity, to give with my heart, to donate things that I truly feel passionate about, because all those things come back tenfold. So when you're seeing 888, it's good karma, it's positivity when it comes to abundance. I also would see 888 a ton when I was getting worried about financial things, and when I was worried about making X amount of money or hitting my goal, I would always see 888, which really reminded me to relax into the journey, that I have positivity coming back to me because I put it out there, and all is well. The number 999 is all about completion, because obviously it's before the first double digit, which is 10, and 10 is actually really 1, because if you add the both digits of 10, 1 plus 0, it just brings you back to 1. So 9 is completion of the number cycle. Anytime we see 9, it's trying to tell us that this is a completion. There's something that we just completed, that this is an ending and we're about to go through a new beginning. So if you're seeing 9, you can reflect on, what have I been trying to complete? What have I completed? Okay, this is exciting. A new beginning is going to come. Before we get into the other numbers like 10, 10, 12, 12, let's just quickly go through this again so you have the quick tips for what each number means. If you're seeing 111, that's all about your connection to self. It is the I. It's about what's going on in your internal world. What are you thinking about? What are you worried about? Get clear on what you want to manifest so that it can come to you. 222 is all about your connection to others. It's about polarities. Are you focusing too much on the other or too much on yourself? And how can you bring that to a balance? 333 is all about bringing our physical self, our spiritual self together to birth our purpose. It's when we're being encouraged that we are on the right track with our destiny. 444 is all about stability with our heart and stability with our finances. Also, how safe we feel in our home life. 5 is all about change. 6 is about our sixth sense, using this to adjust our awareness to see where we need to bring in balance. 7 is about being in alignment enlightenment, going deeper spiritually, really connecting with the gifts that we had innately when we came into this world. 888 is about positive karma. It's about money, honey. And 999 is all about completion. When your angels are sending you these numbers, you receive them with your spiritual mind, but you must use your analytical mind to actually analyze what the message is trying to tell you. Reflect on the number and ask yourself, if I keep seeing 444, is there stability in my home? Do I feel safe in my own home? Did I just go through a breakup and maybe my stability is now coming in? If I'm seeing 222, am I becoming codependent on my partner? Am I focusing too much on them? How can I neutralize this polarity of energy? Now let's get to the other numbers. I never see 000 really, but I'll see it here and there. I don't see people really talk about it, but just in case you happen to be seeing 000, this is infinite support. There's something called the 0 point field where it's just all blank space that you can use to manifest. It's basically saying, here's a blank slate. You can start again with this new information you might have, and it's just eternal guidance in that you're safe. Now, some of us will see numbers like 144, 1010, 1212, 1919, any one of these numbers where we see this sort of, combination. Two things you can do. One is when you see these numbers, you can just ask yourself, well, what am I thinking about? Because usually that number is confirming the thought that you are thinking. So if I keep seeing 1919 every time I'm thinking of a new business idea, that's interesting. I'm thinking and I'm looking at and I'm seeing 1919, which is the numbers of creation and self and completion. I keep seeing this every time I'm thinking of this new idea. Maybe that is a sign that I need to focus on this idea, focus on myself, bring it into creation because it's going to complete a lot of what I want. You can decipher the numbers by just looking at them and using your analytical mind. So if I keep seeing 1919, I can ask myself, okay, well, what am I thinking about? I'm thinking about this new business plan. And then I can ask myself further, well, what does the number 1 mean? Oh, it's about me. It's about self. It's about creation. What does the number 9 mean? It's all about completion and completing a cycle. And if a cycle is ending, that also means a new cycle is beginning. Maybe I need to refocus on this. Maybe I need to give more of my energy to this. And I just have to say, throughout filming this whole entire episode, I've seen so many angel numbers. 111 was on the clock. Then we had 222 while recording. It's just beautiful. But when you understand the meaning of the single digit of just the 1, just the 2, just the 3, you can then understand when it's a combination with other numbers, whether it's all the same number or different. So whether I see 111 or 144, I can decipher what that number means by understanding the single digits within that combination and that sequence. I'll also say there's some numbers like 144. So if I were to decipher that, I have 1, and that's about me. Then I have 2 4s, which is about stability. And I was born at 144, and that was me coming into this world. It was me connecting to my family and my home life. And every time I see 144, I was either talking about or thinking about the Blessed Mother. And now I know that that is my connection to the Blessed Mother. So you can either think about, what am I thinking when I see these numbers? Let me just decipher and read the numbers based on what the single digits mean. And then once you start using your analytical mind in union with your spiritual mind, you get your answers. You don't need to rely on Google. Let's say you're really tired and you don't feel like using your analytical mind. What you can simply do instead is just Google the number if you so choose, close your eyes, go onto the images page and tell your angels whatever message I need to know. Allow my finger to land on the correct message on the images. When I was first getting into angel numbers, I was thinking there's no way I can understand how this one number means 50,000 billion different things. So I would go to images, I would open up a page, I would just say, angels, allow my finger to land wherever it needs to get the right message. And that's what I would do because it was just too much information. So the choice is yours. You can decipher through single digits. You can start paying attention to your inner world to understand every time I think about this, I see this corresponding number. Or you can Google, use the images page, and just allow your finger to fall where it wants to fall. I love you so much. If this podcast resonated with you, please send it to a friend or a family member. Let's help spread the positive bitch word and let's help other people. That's good karma. Hashtag number 8. If you really enjoyed this episode, leaving a positive review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify means so much to me and it really helps the podcast as well. If not for me, do it for you. Good karma again. Hashtag number 8. Let's start getting these into our psyche. I will see you in the next one. As always, a sparkle in me honors a sparkle in you. If you have any suggestions, you can DM me now, leaving a voice note, or even just typing a message of what you want to hear on next week's podcast. And I will see you then. Mwah.